Okay, so now we're going to look at the order of operations. Please go ahead and draw this diagram in your journal. You do not need the boxes. So I have shown you an example of what yours should look like. Please just draw the PEMDAS squares, and you can draw two arrows on the multiply and divide and add and subtract. So the P stands for parentheses. This is also known as grouping now, so we'll throw that word in. And some examples of what that may look like. Could be our regular old parentheses. Sometimes we see the little brackets. And sometimes they just look like boxed brackets. Yes, you need to draw those. The E, which you did not do in 5th grade, is for exponents. We have already discussed exponents and reviewed them as the bell ringer. So let's just add an example for our journal. A different one than what we see there. Let's do 5 squared. And we're going to go ahead and write it out so that way we remember that it's 5 times 5, not 5 times 2. Moving down, the M is for multiply, and the D is for divide. And we're not going to talk about them separately because they are hand in hand. Multiply does not come before divide. It's whichever one is on the left comes before the one on the right. So we always work left to right. But these two have the same importance value. Not one is more important than the other. So some ways that we see multiplication include the X. We have recently been shown the dot. And we will also multiply if we see parentheses next to another number or a letter or next to other parentheses. Divide is pretty simple. We will have our division sign. And it may also be a fraction. So I'm going to put two types of fractions, the ones that we would write with the horizontal line or the ones with the slanty line, which we sometimes have to type. The A is for adding, and the S is for subtraction. But these two also work just like multiply and divide. They're not one is more important than the other. It just matters working left to right in our problem. There's no really fancy things for adding or subtracting. Adding is the plus sign, and subtracting is our minus sign. Again, always going left to right. So let's look at an example in our journal. You guys can just write this off to the side right here where I'm going to write mine as well. And let's do 17 minus 5 squared divided by parenthesis 2 plus 3. Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. So we're going to start up here at the top of our diagram with P for parentheses or grouping. Do we have parentheses or grouping in this problem. Good. We need to do the parentheses first, which would be 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 gives us 5. So it's kind of like working backwards right now. We're going to put the division sign, bring down our 5 squared, bring down our minus, bring down our 17. In the end, we are forming our pizza slice. So any more parentheses left in this problem? Good. So let's move down to the next letter. We have E for exponents. Do I have exponents in this problem? Yes, I do. So we need to solve 5 squared before we can continue. And we wrote out over here that 5 squared is 5 times 5. And what does 5 times 5 equal? 25 would be correct. Bring down the division in the 5, the minus, and the 17. So our next step is to multiply or divide. It doesn't matter. We just need to go left to right. Do I have any multiplication or division left in this problem? Good. So we need to divide 25 by 5. How many times does 5 go into 25? 5 is correct. And we bring down the minus sign and the 17. Is there any more multiplying or dividing? No. So next on the list is our last step, which would be adding or subtracting, working left to right. The only thing I have left is a subtraction problem. So we will then grab our last 2 digits, subtract 17 and 5, which will give us 12, boxed nice and neat. Questions, comments, or concerns? Okay. Great job. So we are going to look at a escape room for tomorrow, but this will do it for class time today. And I will, if for some reason we have class time left over, guys, since I'm recording this, I'm going to play vocabulary. So have no fear. I just wanted to make sure we got the notes done.